Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video tutorial I'll be discussing about old question discussion on array and string part 2. So in previous video I discussed the theory portion of array and a single question of string. Okay, so in this part I'll discuss the example of array, example of string followed by a theory question in string. Okay, so now one of the most important question that has been asked from string is what are the various string handling function in C. Okay, so this is one of the most important question and this can be asked for 8 marks. Okay, so let me discuss this question first in detail and after that we'll move to the example questions of array and string. Okay, so this string handling function, it is stored in the header file string.h. okay, so before you use this string handling function you mention #include string.h in the header file. Okay, so first function will be strlen, that is string length function. So it is used to find the length of string. Okay, so the syntax will be, we know the length of the string, it is always stored in the form of integer. Okay, so the syntax will be, suppose integer size if we declare and there is a string called char name. Okay, char name 10 equals to suppose hello semicolon it is. Okay, so size, if you will give size equals to strlen and inside there is a name. So what it does, this function, it finds the length of the string name. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5, so it will return the value of size equals to 5. Fine, so this is the syntax of string length. Next function is strcmp. Okay, so this stands for string compare function. It is used to compare two strings. Okay, so again after comparing two strings it will give the value in the form of integer, that is the value can be either 1 or 0 or -1. Okay, so let us consider there are two strings called char name1, okay, equals to and char name2, which is also equals to. Okay, so what it does is it compares the letters in the form of ASCII value. For example, if we have Anil and we have a small letter Anil. Okay, so you know C is a case sensitive language, so this capital A and small a is different. Fine, so the ASCII value of capital A is 65 and the ASCII value of small a is 97, I think. Okay, so if you do plus 32 in capital A, you will get the smaller a. Fine, so how we compare is, if you use strcmp function and if you use name1 comma name2, so it is going to compare both the names. Fine, so comparing means it will just differentiate. Okay, it will minus it, so 65 minus 97. Okay, so in this it will give the string comparison function, it will give the string compare. So we can say that, so we can store this value, okay, we can store this value in the form of an integer value, that is difference. For example, if you have string 1 we have AB and string 2 we have AC. Okay, so what value it will give, so how it will compare, so first AA, it is same, so it gets cancelled. Second is B and C, so ASCII value of B is 66 and ASCII value of C is 67. So what it will do, it will minus 66 minus 67, that is equals to -1. Okay, so -1 means string 1 is less than string 2, you can say. So there is a rule. Okay, so there is a rule, if there are two string called string 1 and string 2, so there is a rule. Okay, so the difference will be equals to 1 if string 1 is greater than string 2. The difference will be equals to 0 if string 1 equals to string 2. It is also called identical case. Okay, so if two strings are identical, it will give this value, and the difference will be equals to -1 if string 1 is less than string 2. Fine, so this is the case. So this can be asked in your Viva also. Next, third function is strcpy, that is string copy function. What it does is it simply copies. Suppose if you have string 1 and string 2, so what it will do is it will copy the value of string 1 to string 2. Sorry, string 2 to string 1. Okay, it will copy the value of string 2 to string 1. Next one is strcat, that is string concatenate function. It is also used to join two string, you can say. Fine, so how it works is strcat, we have str1, str2. So what it does is it will join this to str and str2. Next is, and while joining, suppose if we have hello string 1 and world string 2, so while joining, if you want a space between these two words, you just put a space here, so it will give a space. Next is strrev, so it is string reverse function. So simply the sentence is very easy. So simply what it will do is it will reverse the string. Fine. So these are the 5 string handling functions. It is a VVI question for theory portion in string. Now next, go to the programming portion. Okay, so let me start programs. So it will be combination of both array and string. Okay, so the question is, let me start the question number 2. One number I discussed about the string. So it is, write a program that reads the size and number in an array and separate even number and odd number into two different array and display the result. Fine. So we have size and number in an array and separate even number and odd number. Fine. So we have an array of numbers, and from this array we will separate an even number array and an odd number array. Okay, so we have to break this single array into two arrays, one for even number, one for odd number. So let me start the solution from a fresh page. Okay, so I'll write the solution here. Okay, so has include stdio.h. okay, so void main. Let us consider an array. Okay, so int num of size 20. Let us consider an even array of size 10, an odd array of size 10. Okay, and counter. Okay, so counter for even number it will be 0, and counter for odd number OC it will be 0, n and I. So this much variable I am declaring, this many. So printf, we have enter the size of array. Scanf %d address of n. Printf /n enter array element. Okay, so for I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, scanf %d address of a I. Fine. So this much is for reading the array. Okay, so now let's start from the fresh page. I hope this much you got this much. So next what we will do, we will use a for I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. So we have to separate even and odd numbers, okay, from the array. So if num I a mod 2 equals to 0, so we'll have even, okay, even count equals to ai. Okay, so we are going to place the number according to the, so even e count, the value of e count was 0, so even 0, okay, the value in the position even 0 will be equals to, if it moves, sorry, it is not a, it is num, okay, num I. Okay, so if num I mod 2 equals to 0, it will be an even number, so we'll place that in even 0 position, okay, and we'll increase the value of even count by 1. Okay, else we have odd, so we'll place that, if it is not even number, of course it will be an odd number, so we'll place that value in odd 0 position and we'll increase the value of odd count by 1. Fine. So this much is for finding, separating the even and odd number. So next what we'll do, we'll print the value. So I'll go to next page. Printf even numbers. Okay, so for even numbers we'll have for I equals to 0, I less than even count, I plus plus, okay, I plus plus, fine. So I'll printf, okay, /n %d even I. Similarly for odd, printf odd numbers, okay, so for I equals to 0, I less than odd count, I plus plus, will have printf /n %d odd I. Fine. So I think this much for this question, and this question they have asked in 2064 Fagun, and this is for 8 marks. Okay, so I hope you got this question. Let's move to question number 3 very fast. Okay, so question number 3 is what is this? Okay, so question number 3 is write a program to read 20 names of a student, okay, 20 of students, and sort them alphabetically. The process must be done by user defined function. Okay, so this is one of the important question. Most frequently they ask this question. To 2063 Baisakh and many more years they have asked this question for 8 marks. Fine, so let's go directly to the solution part. Okay, so we'll use both the concept of array and string here. So I'll write include stdio.h, and it is followed by include, okay, string.h, because we are going to use string functions, of course, here. Okay, so I'll start with the function sort. So we have used the concept of array, function and string here. Okay, so we are taking the name of, the size of the string with 25, and the name will have the length of the string as 25 and size will declare 20. So void main. So here we are declaring a string name having size 20, sorry, having 20 number of students. So having the size 20 means the number of the total number of names will be 20, and each name will have size 25, length 25. Okay, int I for I equals to 0, I less than 20, I plus plus for 20 students. Printf int name, okay, and scanner percentage s stri. No, I think it is name I. Okay, fine. So this is for reading the names, and now I'll call the function sort and I'll pass my array here. Fine. So next will be, this is the main function. Okay, so next I'll continue here only. After that I'll go to function definition part. So after sorting, after coming back, after sorting the arrays, we're going to print the names. So I'll continue here only, /n sorted array. Okay, so sorted array will be for I equals to 0, I less than 20, I plus plus. Okay, printf percentage s, okay, name I. So after sorting, we are going to print the sorted array. So this will be in the main function. Let's go to the sort function. So in next page I'll continue with this. Let's go to the sort function. So void sort character s and 25. All right. Okay. So int I comma j character, I'll declare a temporary variable, okay, to store the string temporarily. I equals to 0, I less than 20, I plus plus 4, j equals to I plus 1. This is for sorting. Okay, this code is for sorting. J plus plus. If string compare, okay, si is comma sj is greater than 0. Okay, si comma sj is greater than 0. We are using string compare function. So I explained the functionality of string compare. So we are going to copy our string copy. We are going to copy string si in temp variable strcpy. Again we are going to copy, okay, sj in si, and we are going to copy sj in, okay, temp in sj variable. Fine. So in this way our sorting function code will be finished. Okay, so this question they have asked many times. Okay, so this is also one of the VBI question, you can say. Fine. So without further delay, let's move to the next question. So the question is okay, so next question is let me go to the question part. So there is a question called write a program to read name of students and sort them in alphabetical order. Okay, so again the same question that I did last question that I did. So this is also the same question. So next one question is there. Fourth number question. Let me see. Write a program, okay, to search a given number from list of n numbers, and you should read the numbers to be searched from user. Okay, so user should give a number and you should search whether that number is in the particular array or not. Fine. So let me start this question. So this question they have asked in 2066 J star. Okay, so let me complete this solution part in next page. So solution will be has include stdio.h, okay, void main int a20 nix and nix and c equals to 0. Fine. So we have printf int number of element scanf percentage d address of n printf int number for I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, and we'll read the array. So scanf percentage d, okay, a I, so I read the array. Fine. So I'll continue next page. It is printf enter the number to be searched, enter the number to be searched. This is scanf percentage d address of x for I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. If okay, if the x variable equals to ai, okay, so this is the variable that we are going to search. So if it is equals to ai, so and then we will printf number found, okay, and we'll set this value of c equals to 1 and we'll break from this because we have already found the number, so no need to continue the program. So we'll break from the loop, okay. And if c equals to 0, what will tell? We'll tell them printf number is not found, the number that you're searching is not there, number not found. Fine. So this is the code for this. So it has been asked for again 8 marks. Okay, so next question is fine. So next question is question number 5. Okay, fine. So what is this? I think this is a ruler. Let me clear this. Fine. So next question again. This is a question of matrix multiplication. Okay, so the concept of matrix multiplication I am not going to explain here because it will take half an hour if I will start explaining the matrix multiplication concept. So we have already uploaded a video on matrix multiplication in our channel, so go and check that video first if you have any confusion regarding matrix multiplication. I am just going to show you the way how we can solve this question. Fine. Okay, so let's start. Question number 5. So it is a bit lengthy program. Write a function that can be called to compute the product of two matrices of size m by n and n by m. The main function provides the value of m and n and two matrices. Okay, so I hope you got the question. It has been asked in 2068 Mangshir. Fine, so this question can be of 8 to 10 marks. That's 100. 8 to 10 marks. Okay, so let's start with the solution part. Okay, so next question is, I think this is question number 6, I think. Okay, so next question is, write a program to read a string and check whether it consists of alphabet or not. Okay, also we have to use user defined function to accomplish this task. Fine, so this question has been asked in 2073 Chaitra, and I think it's for 8 marks. Fine, so let's go to the solution part. So this is a question from string and I think function, combination of string and function. So let me clear the screen and start with the solution part. Okay, so has include stdio.h. Fine, so we'll start with void main and let us take a string called char. Okay, str of size 20. We'll also take a variable a, printf enter string, we'll say. Next I'll use this unformatted input gets for str, and I'll just call our function. Okay, so let me here I will declare a function. Okay, so int, what you have to do to check whether. Okay, so I'll declare a function check and I'll pass string as the argument only. Okay, so a equals to check str, I'll pass here. If a equals to 1, okay, so I'll printf the given string consists of alphabet. Okay, else printf, okay, no alphabet. You can write anything here. Fine, so this is my main function. I'll clear the screen and I'll start my function, user defined function, that is check. So int check, okay, char, I'll receive the string variable. Okay, so next int I, for I equals to 0, okay, and this is s. Okay, so it will be s. Let me erase this, and here it is, s I is not equals to new line. Fine, so new line is the ending condition of string. So if si is greater than equals to capital A and si is less than equals to capital Z, or si is greater than equals to small a and si is less than equals to small z, fine, so we'll return 1. Okay, so it means that if it contains any alphabet, we are going to return 1. Okay, and then we'll come out of the loop. Okay, so if there is any alphabet is matching, we'll return 1. So it will go to main function and we check there if a equals to 1. it consists the alphabet. Okay, so in this way it is going to check the alphabet. So this is the solution. Let's go to another question. So this is question number 7, I guess. Okay, so it is write a program to read number and call a function till yes is entered by the user. You should, okay, you should count and sum the numbers using a static variable in the function and return the average to main function. Okay, so I think this is one of the most interesting question. Okay, so it has been asked in 2065 Shravan. Okay, and again it is for 8 marks. Okay, so it's a very nice question. So in this you should know the concept of a static variable. Okay, so if you define any variable as static, suppose a static int I, if you are defining it, and if in some program if you are fixing the value of int I equals to 0, fine. So and here you are going to increase the value of I. So every time if it encounters this statement, the value of I becomes 0. Okay, it becomes, suppose we incremented the value of I by 1, so the value of I should be 1. But the moment it encounters this statement, it becomes I equals to 0. It comes to its initial position. Fine. So if you use static in front of this int, what happens? The value of I, this I equals to 0, it will not bother. The value of I becomes 1, 2, 3. Fine. So in this case we use static variable. Okay. So more about a static variable I think we have discussed in theory portion. Okay. So let's go to the programming part directly. Okay. So let's start with has include stdio.h. Okay. Next is let us consider a function average. Okay, and passing a type integer. Next is void main. Okay, so int n, float a, and char ch. Okay, so I'll be using a loop that is do. Okay, so printf enter value of n, scanf %d address of n, a equals to, let us call the function average. Okay, I'll pass the variable n. Printf, now I'll ask the user, okay, do you want to enter another number? Okay, do you want to enter another number? So scanf, the user should say yes, so it should be read in the form of string. That's why we are using string here. Okay, scanf, and after that, okay, so let me write the other part of code here. Okay, so other part is after scanf I'll close the do part and I'll start the while part. Okay, so this is a do while statement. So while string compare, okay, ch and yes, it means that if the user enters yes, it is going to compare this statement. Okay, and if it is true, it is used to enter another value. Fine. Printf average equals to %f. If not, it comes out of loop and will print the average. Okay, so I think this is the end of our main function. Okay, so this is our main function. In next page I will be discussing the function part. Okay, so the function part is float average int n. Okay, so they have asked us to use static int, so you have to use static int here. Okay, so float average. Okay, so s is equal to s plus n, c is equal to c plus 1, average equals to float s by c. Okay, so here you have used the type of s as integer, but here you have to find the value of average and it is float, so forcefully we are converting the value of s as float. Okay, so this is called explicit type conversion. Okay, so this is also one of the important topic, type conversion. Fine, so I think this I have to discuss in chapter input output, so it has not, still we have not discussed about this. So this is explicitly we are converting the value of s to float. Next we will return average. Fine, so this is the code for this. Okay, let's go to next question without any delay. Okay, so next question is it's a very easy question, I can say. So 8 number question it is, write a program to display largest and smallest element of a 2D array. Fine, 2D array, so it means it is in the form of matrix. We have to find the smallest and largest element. So it has been asked in 2073 Chaitra and it is for 8 marks. Fine, let's go to the solution part. Okay, let's go to the solution part. Fine, so sorry, has include, I hope my handwriting has improved. Okay, has, other you can void main int a. I'll make a matrix 3 by 3. They have asked us to make a 2D matrix. You can use I think any size, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, also I'll declare max, min, I and j, all are of type integer only. Okay, so either you can read this one or you can just declare like this. Okay, so I'll fix the value of max as a00, that is initial element, and we need to compare all the element with this element. Okay, so I think for finding minimum and maximum we use the same concept. Okay, fine, so for I equals to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus. For j equals to 0, j less than 3, j plus plus, j plus plus. Okay, so here I'll use the concept, if a I j is greater than max, okay, then we'll set the value of max as a I j. It's very simple concept. Okay, and if value of a I j is less than min, okay, we'll set the value of min as a I and j. Fine. Okay, so this much. Next what I'll do, from here I'm going to write here. Okay, here. Next what we'll do, so we have to just print. Okay, so we'll print f largest element is equal to percentage d max. Okay, and again printf smallest element is equal to percentage d, okay, min. Fine. Next I'll close the bracket. Fine. So this question they have asked in 2073. Okay, so it's very easy. Next, let's go to next question. So question number 8 we have. Okay, question number 8. So it is write a program to read a square matrix of size n into n and find sum of both diagonal element. Okay, sum of both diagonal element they say. So there is a property, okay, for diagonal element, that is I should be equal to j for first diagonal element, and for second diagonal element I plus j should be equals to n minus 1. Okay, this is for diagonal 2. For example, this is the matrix, so this is diagonal element 1, this is diagonal element 2. Okay, so this is the property. So same property are we using. So this is only the main part of code. If you know this property, you can write the code very easily. So let's go and start with the code. Has include stdio dot h. Fine. So void main. We have int I, j, n. Diagonal 1 equals to 0. Diagonal 2 equals to 0. A 5 by 5 matrix. Fine. So printf enter size of, we have to always take a square matrix for this. Okay, let me use another pen. This one I am getting a bit delay while writing. Okay, this is fine. Scanf percentage d address of n they say. Next, for I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. For j equals to 0, j less than n, j plus plus. Okay, so scanf percentage d address of a, I and j. If I equals to j, d1 equals to d1 plus. Okay, I have mentioned the property earlier, ij. Okay, and if I plus j equals to n minus 1. Okay, so d2 equals to d2 plus a, I, j. Fine. So this much for the program. Now I'm going to print it. Okay, so let me take another page for this. Just a second. So next is printf first diagonal sum equals to percentage d d1, and printf second diagonal sum equals to percentage d d2. Okay, so I think this much question, this is for this question. Next is question number 10. Fine. Just a minute. Okay, question number 10 we have write a program in C to check whether a given string is palindrome or not using user defined function they say, and this is asked in 2074 Ashwin. 8 marks question again. Fine. So I think this is also one of the question that you might have been solved. Okay, not using, okay, they have said not using user defined function, otherwise you could have used reverse function to just string, you know, it's reversing the string, so you don't have to use a user defined function. Fine. So let's solve this program. Okay, so don't worry, it is also one of the easiest concept we can use here, studio.h. Okay, so let me declare or define a variable. Check for this again. We'll use void main, and I'll declare a string, okay, of size 20. I'll declare an integer, and we'll write here enter any string. I'll say, okay, I'll read that string, okay, and I'll call my function check, okay, if d equals to 0. So what concept we are using here is, we are going to, okay, we are going to just we are going to minus a string from another, or we are going to compare the string, okay, fine. So it should not be, okay, let me do the program and then we'll get it. Okay, if d equals to 0, printf, it is palindrome, okay, else printf, it is not palindrome, fine. So this is the main function. Let me go to the function part. Just a second, I'll be charging my laptop. Okay, fine. So let's go to the function part. So it is int check str. Sorry, I think it should be char str. Okay, so it is char str int ILD. So for L equals to, we are calculating the length of string, okay, L equals to 0, STL is not equals to 0, L plus plus, okay. So this is for calculating the string length, okay. Next, for I equals to 0, STI is not equals to 0, okay, I plus plus, and we are calculating the difference d equals to STI minus STL minus 1 minus I, okay. So it will give the difference. If difference is not equals to 0, we'll break it, okay, and we'll return the value of d, okay. So if d equals to 0, it is palindrome. If not, it is, the difference would be 0, okay, then only it is palindrome, fine. So next question is, okay, so next question is again question number 11, I guess, fine. So write a program to add corresponding elements of two arrays. The result should form a new array. So this question they have asked in 2078 Shravan, fine. So let's go to the solution part directly. Okay, so has include, I'll not write the complete, void main, okay, so int a 10, b 10 and c 10, fine. So printf enter first array, okay. So for I equals to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, we have scanf, okay, percentage d, address of AI. Again printf enter second array for I equals to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Okay, we'll do its again array scanf %d address of vi. Fine. Next, what we'll do, we have to add. So for I equals to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, ci equals to ai plus bi. Okay, fine. So we are simply adding the elements of array. So now we'll print it. Printf resultant array will be equal to for I equals to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Okay, printf %d and ci. Fine. So this is the question and solution for the question, and I think this is one of the easiest questions that has been asked for 8 marks. Fine. So next question we have,